Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Happily Hester After.
Woo!
I'm Darrell. She's Ariel. We're the Hesters.
I'm Ariel.
I'm Darrell. We're the Hesters. We're having fun. This video is important because this is a video that people have been requesting. Okay, and we're doing this video because we are a product. Our child, we're pregnant. You can't see it, but we are. If you're new to our channel, she's in her 3rd trimester, okay? Just give you preference. Our child is a product of IVF, in vitro fertilization. Now, this video is actually talking about the procedural costs, okay? The costs of IVF. Now, is this video going to go into every single detail, cent, and dollar? No, we do not have time. Y'all do not have time.
Nah.
And I don't think our SD card could handle an hour's worth of content because that's about how long it would take for us to explain everything.
But we are going to get pretty detailed. It's just that I think that you care more about the thousands of dollars that you spend on one thing than you care about the $10 you pay for parking.
That's probably the best way to explain it. Now, once again, before we get into it, your doctor's your appointments are going to cost different than ours. We're in different states, different cities, different principalities, different hospital. Everything's different when it comes to that for the most part. It's going to be different for blood tests.
We're going to go into how much we paid and how much it is at our facility in Atlanta.
Yes.
There are a lot of people that go to local
different
facilities
places
near them. The CNY, the one in New York, is very popular because it's less expensive than most of the local. Yeah, it's very popular. Most people have heard of that one. Unfortunately, I can't price that one out for you guys because we didn't go to that one.
We don't know.
But if you are looking into doing IVF and you're looking into visiting another place, like a place that's near you, and you're not planning on traveling to New York to do it, then this is probably going to be a little bit closer to the price point they're going to be hitting at.
Right.
Like he said, it's probably not going to be exact because this is our specific facility in Atlanta.
And not to mention insurance.
But it gives you a good ballpark.
Insurance is different for everybody.
Yes.
Thankfully,
so we have partial insurance coverage.
But it goes deeper. Okay. This is all preface, by the way. So if you want to skip ahead, we'll put the time card somewhere so you can just skip ahead to it. But we want to preface this stuff because we don't want to make any mistakes in this video. You guys have false expectations. We had insurance. Her mother worked for an insurance company. Our insurance
was really good. It was an 80-20 type thing.
Okay.
They covered 80%. We were responsible for 20%, which is like a co-insurance or whatever.
This IVF process for us would not have happened the way it did if it were not for her mother's insurance working at a particular insurance company.
But we only had the insurance through the retrieval. So the transfer we pay full price for. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into detail about the price with the partial insurance and without the insurance.
Yes. Lastly, okay, I want to make this clear. The costs that we are giving you are associated with our insurance, like I said, and the company that we did the retrieval through.
Yeah, our clinic.
Our clinic that we did the IVF through, okay? We are not sponsored by this clinic, and if you want to know what that clinic is, we will probably put it in a pinned comment below or maybe in the description below, but we don't want to...
Can we legally put that out there?
Yes, you can tell people where you did it from. I don't want to say it on the video because,
an NDA.
I don't want to say it on the video. I don't know the legality behind it. Just go in the comments or we'll put it in there because...
You gonna put it in the comments?
I am, because there are some of you out there who might be at the very clinic.
I'm not going to be sued.
Okay, the video will start now. Okay, so if you want to skip
done with your preface?
Done. All the prefaces are done. Managing your expectations before we get into the video. Let's go. Okay, retrieval.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the retrieval, and we're going to start off with the pricing that we paid with the insurance coverage that we had. So like I said, I believe the insurance that we had was one of those like 80-20 type of situations. So at the end of the day, you end up having to pay for the initial stimulation is what I think they call it, which is basically the procedure of the retrieval. And then you pay for the medication. The medication is paid for separately. Most of the clinics that you go to, they will tell you can get your medication from like wherever it is that you're going to go to get your medication. They'll just give you the prescription for it. There might be some that sell medication, but I haven't seen a clinic that sells the medication.
And also, this video is not about which medications, because
no, we're not going to talk about which medications right now. We can make another video about that, but
comment below.
That's what
if
you want to know about our specific protocol, then
it's a CVS receipt.
We can go into it.
Okay.
Whatever. We can go into detail about that at a different time. But yeah, so basically you pay for the procedure and then you pay for the medication. So for the procedure, like I said, we had the 80-20 thing. So for the procedure, we paid $3,150. $3,150 just for the procedure. And for us, that included them going in and retrieving the eggs. I believe it included ICSI, and it included
real quick, ICSI, is when they actually put the sperm directly into the egg. Yes, that's ICSI. That's the...
I don't know. They asked me if I wanted it. I said, is it free? And they said yes. And I said, okay. I think I read about what it was at the time, and I was like, okay, that's...
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If it's wrong, you will never see this because my wife will cut it. So...
I mean, I'll try to put like a short description.
But like a short... He's wrong, and this is what it really is.
That's why I didn't go into detail about it. You always got to talk about something.
Well, you said ICSI, they're going to be like, what's ICSI, right? You know.
Google it. Like me. Anyway, okay, so that included them actually going in and retrieving the eggs, ICSI, and it included the monitoring appointments, which is basically, you know, they have to monitor how you're doing with the medication. So that cost was included in that $3,150, which is good. Then you have the pricing for the medication. So I got my medication through my insurance through Kaiser. Kaiser is like, that's where my doctor is. That's where I can go to their pharmacy. You know, that's where we got our medication from. I think we did end up picking up one of the medications from somewhere else, didn't we?
We ended up picking it up from, so we picked it up from our main doctor people, insurance company. We picked it up from them. The only time we've ever picked up medication from somewhere else was like CVS.
They did something that they didn't have, and I think it was something small.
It was small.
But anyway, I say that because the Kaiser insurance that I have covered part of the medication. So Kaiser covered half of my medication.
Right.
But that's because, you know, like I said, I was under my mom's insurance at the time. It was great.
So enjoy doing the math on these numbers, by the way, because we're going to add all this up at the end.
Yeah, we're going to add it up.
Because
I'll tell you how much it really is.
Yeah, because if you think about it,
I paid.
If we're telling you that we paid 20% of the total, that means if you did not have insurance, it would be way more. So
yeah. So we were at $3,150 for the initial stimulation, which is the actual procedure, and then for the medication altogether, I paid $3,873 and some change, give or take. So that's another basically $3,000.
And when we say all together, we're talking about the retrieval medication, or we're talking about
the retrieval medication.
Okay,
so I'm not talking about like ovulation tests. That I had to buy separately. They didn't give me those. I had to purchase my own ovulation tests. That doesn't include things like parking, because even though I'm dropping 7 bands at this clinic, I still can't get my parking validated. But that's another story. That doesn't include small things like that. Yes. Or like the initial consultation when you first go to meet with the doctor and discuss what you want to do.
Those thousands and thousands of dollars. That. Yeah, so those thousands of dollars.
Those things are like chump change compared to that.
The retrieval.
Yeah. So that altogether for the retrieval, we paid about $7,023 and some change.
That's just
the retrieval.
The retrieval.
With a partial insurance coverage. So let's talk about how much the retrieval would have costed if we did not have any of the insurance coverage. So without my insurance coverage, the retrieval would have been $14,100. That's how much my clinic charges for the initial stimulation, which is the procedure.
And that does not include free parking.
No.
Just to be clear.
$40,000. Then for the medication, remember my insurance covered half of the medication. So if you double that number that I gave you earlier, the medication would have been around $7,746. So that's 14,100 plus 7,746, which is a little bit over what, 21,000?
Yes.
Yeah. So without insurance, and like I said, that doesn't include the small things. That also does not
Gas,
include
food, friggin'
ovulation tests.
Rent. I'm sorry.
Anyway, right. Now, that also does not include genetic testing. Genetic testing is something that's completely optional, but basically, after they do the retrieval, if you're not doing a fresh transfer, you can still have your embryos tested if you do a fresh transfer, just not the one that they're transferring. But anyway, when they do the retrieval, they take the eggs and they take the sperm, they put them together to make the embryos, they monitor them for the 5 days or whatever, and then they'll either transfer one into you or they will freeze them. So we wanted to do a fresh because we would have saved money, but my body reacted too well to the medication, so we had to wait a cycle, so it pushed us, but I'll go into detail about that later. But my point is, the genetic testing is when they take the embryo, they send it to a genetic testing company, and they're going to test them to see if they're abnormal or not. So for the genetic testing, at the place that my clinic uses to test the embryos, they charge $100 like deposit, and then $100 per embryo. So we had 12 embryos that needed to be tested, plus the initial $100. So we paid about $1,300 for that.
Right.
That's completely optional. It's up to you if you want to do it. We did it for our own personal reasons, just because we wanted to make sure that the embryos
and we are
okay.
glad we did.
Because we also have a history of loss. So, we're glad that we did it, and it ended up being worth every penny, but that was still another $1,300 on top of the $7,000 that we paid earlier. So, and that's full price. That's not with any insurance help for that. So, if you were to do one IVF cycle without insurance with genetic testing, that was what, 21,000 plus 1,300. You're looking at about $23,300 basically, without insurance for the retrieval. We're not at the transfer yet. So when we did the transfer, like I said, I wanted to do a fresh because we did the retrieval in like December, and at the end of the year I was being taken off of my mom's insurance. But like I said, my body responded too well, and we ended up having to push we had to wait a cycle. We had to wait one cycle. But we ended up waiting more than one cycle because we had to save up the extra money.
Oh yeah, and COVID.
So we ended up having to do it the next year when I was on my own insurance. Now, if I had been able to use my insurance, I would have been paying $750 for my transfer, and that's not for the medication. That's for the procedure. But since I did not have the insurance anymore, I had to pay full price, which was $4,250. Yeah, look at that joke. Now you see why I was trying to do it fresh. But that's beyond the point.
That's okay.
So, like I said, we ended up waiting a couple months, and then right around the time we wanted to do it, COVID. But we ended up doing it anyway. So we paid $4,250 for the procedure of doing the transfer. That didn't include the medication. Now, the medication, I did less medication for my transfer. Everybody's protocol is different. But for mine, I did less medication, but still so many shots. But for the transfer medication, it was about $815. Yes. So $842.50. It was about $5,000 for the transfer.
And also, if you are afraid of needles, sis,
save yourself. Like, no, I'm playing. But
I mean,
it was
I'm
a
just
lot of needles.
telling y'all.
Because you got needles for the retrieval, and you got needles for the transfer.
And any of the significant others, if you are squeamish or cannot handle needles, y'all out of luck.
I mean, no, you're going to get used to it real quick.
You got to get used to it. You ain't got no choice. So just put that out there.
It's a lot. So we're looking at, we paid what, $7,000 and something for our retrieval, and then we paid about $5,000 for our transfer. So we paid about $12,000. If you were to do this without the insurance, what were we at before?
Jeez, man.
Oh wait, no. So we did the genetic testing too. So $7,000 plus $5,000 plus $1,300 is $1,350. About $1,350 that we paid.
I'm bad at math. I don't know.
Not $1,350. $13,500. That we paid, just about
somewhere around there.
It's the middle of the night, so I don't know how my math is, but
y'all got calculators.
Whatever. Get your calculator out. Without the insurance, we were at 21,000 plus. If you do genetic testing, about, depending on how many embryos you have,
we'll say 30,000. It's ballpark, because that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's about, I mean, because that was 5,000, 21,000, 26,000 plus however much if you do genetic testing.
Just say 30,000.
So yeah, so you're looking at about 30,000, just like
without insurance.
All together, just throwing some numbers out there. I mean, like I said, you can do it cheaper if you go to places like CNY
or Canada. Just putting that out there. Absolutely.
I don't know if that's legal, so I'm not going to encourage anybody to do that.
It is. You can go over there.
No, I don't think you're supposed to like go across.
You absolutely can.
I mean,
people come to the United States all the time for medication and different surgeries.
I'm talking about not Canada. You know, some people will go to like other countries.
Anybody say that? I said Canada.
Okay.
I didn't say the Ukraine.
I don't need nobody telling. I don't need nobody putting my name. I am a citizen. I do not need to be deported. I don't know. I'm not playing. But anyway, so yeah, so about $30,000 without insurance is what you're going to be looking at, give or take a couple thousand.
So start yourself a GoFundMe.
Yes.
All right. Tell people that you need funding. All right.
And one of my biggest pet peeves is, you know, when you do stuff like IVF and you start a GoFundMe, because $30,000 is a lot of money to come up with on the fly. Not everybody has that laying around, and then people say, well, if you can't afford to have the baby, why have the baby? No, $30,000.
We're not going to give them the energy that they want.
Yeah. Nobody just has $30,000.
No one's gonna have that laying around.
I have seen people who have had to like put money on their mortgage. I've seen people have to take money out of their 401k, because guess what? The normal average human being does not just have $30,000 laying around. And if you don't feel bad about that, because normal people lay down and accidentally get pregnant. Just throwing that out there.
And by the way,
normally it's free to get pregnant.
If you do have $30,000 just sitting in your bank account,
I mean, kudos to you.
Seriously,
have all the babies.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Like, that's fantastic. I'm not even going to sit here and cap. Because in reality, there are people who just simply do not have it.
Yep.
And for you to have it, great job.
Kudos to you.
Like, I don't know if you were prepared for this in some reality and you were like, maybe I should just save up. Or you just make a lot of money. Yes. Now go use it wisely. Still.
Now, real quick, let's talk about a few ways that you can save money doing your IVF. Like I said, a lot of people will go to the CNY or to other facilities like that offer the services at a lower cost. Just keep in mind, if you do not live local to that place, you are going to have to be paying the money to travel back and forth. So keep that in mind. You could go to a cheaper facility. Some people have found different places to order the medication from, where you get the medication for less money. There are some legitimate ones. I can't tell you which ones they were because I did not use them, because like I said, my insurance covered a good amount, and then also because of COVID there was a lot of like issues with people getting mail. I wasn't trying to get up in it, but there are plenty of reputable places that you can order the medication from, where you'll get it cheaper than if you go to like a pharmacy where you're not a member of, if that makes sense. So you can save money on your medication, you can save money on your procedure if you go to places like that. Also, I encourage you, talk to your clinic about what kind of programs that they have. My clinic actually offered me some type of program where I could do like, what was it, three retrievals. But I didn't do that because 3 retrievals for like a certain price or something.
Really murky.
It does.
It gets
but
really
it depends on what deal they're offering you. I didn't do that because my success rate was higher, so I was like, because basically if you ended up succeeding, if your cycle succeeded, then you just paid an extra price, but you don't get that money back, if that makes sense. So it would have costed more than the however much I paid to guarantee success. It's like a guarantee thing. But like I said, so I didn't do that just because, I mean, it ended up working and I wouldn't have got that money back. So
it's like insurance.
Just talk to them about it. Do your research on it. They might give you the paperwork for it in the clinic, but take some time to actually read it. Think about it, look at what your success rate is that your doctor gave you, and just consider that. But sometimes you can get deals on things like that through your doctor, and that's normally really good if you have like a pre-existing condition like PCOS or endometriosis, where it's not a super high chance that the IVF will work. Now, that's not to scare you and make you think that you can't have a successful IVF cycle. Yeah, you have to be realistic when it comes to money, because if this is going to end up saving you money in the long run, you want to do it.
And listen to your doctor. Seriously. If your doctor is telling you, and I'm just being frank, if your doctor is telling you that your condition may not lead to a successful pregnancy, please have to be realistic. We get it. We understand you want this child, you want kids. We understand. But if the doctor is being straight up factual with you and saying, according to the science, you will more than likely not have a successful pregnancy, at that point, it is your decision. But just be aware of that.
Take those numbers. I mean, they're not exact.
Nothing set in stone.
I think ours was, 60%? I think we had like a 60%.
I think 60% is the top. That's the absolute top.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, so keep that stuff into consideration. But you can save money if you speak to your clinic about whatever programs that they might be offering. Another thing that we considered doing, but thankfully didn't have to end up doing, was they do have those like medical credit cards where you can get like a credit card for medical expenses. I can't remember what the name of those things are off the top of my head, but you can look that up. And those are credit cards that you can use specifically for medical purchases. And I believe most of the time IVF does count. Just make sure that you check with your clinic first. And your clinic actually might partner with one of those credit cards.
And so once again, yes, you will be accruing debt for this procedure if you do that. Once again, going back to what we said earlier,
you have to pay these credit cards off.
If something goes
but it'll
wrong
save you some time.
And it doesn't work, you will be left with heartache and debt. So.
But that's another option if you don't just have $30,000 laying around. You can try to get you a medical credit card. Other than that, start a GoFundMe.
Have a rich person that you know who's willing to just be extremely philanthropic.
Ain't no shame in my game. When that doctor gave me that bill, I called up my family. I said, listen, this is what we trying to do. Can you help? Whatever you can pitch in. I don't care if it's $100, $200. I'm paying $7,000.
Hey,
plus
do what you
this,
gotta
plus
do.
That. Hey,
OnlyFans.
You do what you gotta do. Ain't no
two jobs.
I don't know about that. But ain't no shame in your game.
Hey, do what you got. If you want this baby, do what you got to do legally.
Anyway.
Okay, now don't listen to her. Legally. See, people like that gonna stop you from your blessing.
No.
Legally. Get what you need to get.
I mean, no, as long as it's legal.
Legally.
As long as it's legal. But yeah, so other than that.
Okay.
Start a
that
t-shirt
person that owes you money, go get them. Go get them. Today's the day.
Start a t-shirt fundraiser, whatever you gotta do.
Yeah.
But that is our financial analysis of
according
the
to
IVF procedure.
What we went through.
According to our experience.
Go watch other videos, because everybody has a different experience. Now, you know what I hate the most, and we'll wrap it up, is watching those IVF videos. Because we did it. We went to those IVF videos and like trying to find out what's up. What is it? Like, what do we have to do? I hate watching those videos. They're like, yeah, it was a total of $40,000. We just swiped our card. We were done. And I'm like, oh, you didn't have to say it like that.
Happy for you. I had to scrap for my little what was it all together? I had to scrap for my little $13,000-$14,000. I'm just saying.
And that was the max, bro.
And like I said, if you have to scrap for your money, ain't no shame in your game, because once again, most people get pregnant for free.
That's honestly the cheapest way to do this. But if you can't, like most of us who had to do IVF.
Don't let people shame you, because infertility is a medical condition. You can't control it. You're not born and they're like, hello, would you like to be infertile? That doesn't happen. So don't feel ashamed because you don't have $30,000 laying around to do what other people do for free.
So anyway,
I hope that this was beneficial for you. I hope that it was informative for those of you that are, like I said, seeking to do IVF. I hope that we were able to give you some really good information. For those of you that are just watching because you know somebody who did IVF and you judge them, I hope you feel ashamed of yourself, because this is expensive. No.
We go there.
But no, I mean, really. And so
She'll go on a whole soapbox.
I know. Don't get me
Wrap
on the
it up,
don't
wrap
don't
it
get me
up.
on the tangent. Okay, but anyway, make sure that you like and subscribe. Share this video. Share it with people who doing IVF. Share it with people who know people who doing IVF.
She gonna say share it with the haters. Look, I knew she was gonna say that.
Because people love to talk about your pockets and your wallet. Okay, but anyway.
We love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Yes, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell button. If you have any other videos that you want us to make about medication, IVF, pregnancy after loss, IVF after loss, whatever, comment below per usual. And that's pretty much it, y'all. Anyway,
guys,
just remember, y'all, God is good all the time.
And all the time. That's good. I feel like we were going over each other just then. Let's say it at the same time.
Anyway, just remember y'all, God is good all the time. And all the time, God is good. And Lord willing, we will see y'all next time. Bye.
That was great.